I'm about to share with you one of the most overlooked determining factors of success that you've probably never even thought about, nobody's ever talked to you about before. What we're talking about is environments and the way that our environments affect every piece of our life. Right? Now, an environment can be something as simple as the space between your ears and your mind. School, church, scouts, work, all these different places are environments. In fact, every room in your house is an environment. Every social group is an environment. Every group on Facebook can be a different environment. It's just extremely important to understand all the different environments that you're in on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and really to understand all the environments that you came up from birth, from childhood, right? Because all of our environments dramatically determine the conditioning that we've had our whole life. Now just think about the conditioning as the knowledge, the education, the inputs that we've gotten, right? And so that conditioning, those knowledge, education, and inputs have all been the determining factors on your value system, your beliefs, and for the most part, your model of the world, the way you see and interact with the world as a whole. Now, if you really stop to think about it, you had no choice about the values and the beliefs that you have and the conditioning that you got. As a baby, you don't have any choice. You don't even really have any conscious memory up until 5 or 6 for most people when they're an adult. Think back before that, they can't remember. But you've been conditioned your whole life through the environments that you were in, right? Coming up, you were conditioned, given your values and beliefs, your model of the world, by the way that your parents taught you, your school teachers, your grandparents, your friends, social groups, scouts, sports teams, church, it doesn't matter, right? They were all conditioning you and building your values and beliefs and your model of the world. Now, none of that's nefarious. Nobody's trying to do anything bad. That's not the point. It's just to understand that that's just the way it is for all of us, right? And then once we understand that our conditioning determines our values, beliefs, our model of the world, we then understand why we think, feel, and behave the way we do to any given set of circumstances or a situation or an event or whatever. Right? Remember, events, circumstances, situations, they're all basically neutral until we assign them some kind of feeling or emotion or thought process to them. So, and when we do that, we end up with a result or outcome that's based on the way we think, feel, and behave that was a direct result of our values, beliefs, model of the world, our conditioning. Right? And then through time, our feelings, our behaviors, the results, our outcomes lead us to what is our destiny, or really our path, the way we go through life and fulfill life for ourselves. Right? The nice thing is your destiny isn't chosen by some outside force. It's chosen by you. But the only way you can make a conscious choice is to understand the way the world works, the way you were conditioned, and the way you work. So you can kind of think about it as there's the outside world and there's the inside world. When we understand both and how to control both, then we have the ability to change our own destiny. Right? I'm sure that makes sense for you. Now, here's another concept to understand. They're kind of below this line. This is kind of the superficial psychology, the superficial way that we act, behave, right? And this part, this is kind of the deep psychology, the things that we overlook so much of the time. That's what I mean by deep. It's just overlooked. It's not really thought about. Nobody's explaining it to us. So as we go, what we want to do is we want to evaluate now. We're adults. We get to make this choice. We get to choose our own path now. We want to look at the things that were conditioned to us and what create our values, beliefs, in our model, right? Were you raised in a household where mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever said, money doesn't grow on trees, money's always scarce, money's hard to come by, work is a grind, etc. Right? That's kind of a negative scarcity mindset. It could be very valid for where they were at the moment, but it's not life as a whole. Or were you raised where somebody believes that, money's plentiful and you can have a good job, or you could own your own business, or you could do these things and control what you did with your finances, right? Were you raised in an environment that was not health conscious, right? So that you didn't feel good, you were always overweight, or everybody in your life was overweight, right? Was there always junk food in the house? Was there no emphasis put on healthy eating and just pretty much ate takeout food, pizza, McDonald's, whatever? There was never any fruits or vegetables. It was always potato chips, candy, whatever, right? If that's the case, then you probably grew up in an unhealthy physical environment. So there's lots of examples to look back on and evaluate for ourselves. So let's stay with food and money for a minute. If I decide I'm going to lose 20 pounds, it's a great goal, right? If you're overweight, lose 20 pounds, get that blood pressure down, feel better, right? But all I'm willing to do is, and just the only thing I understand is I've just got to change my behavior. I just have to eat better. I just have to get some exercise. Well, true. You do need to eat better. You do need to get exercise. But if your environment that you're in, or the multiple environments that you're in, are not conducive to that change, then guess what? Eventually those environments are going to win. Think if you lived in a household and you had 3 roommates. You're trying to lose 20 pounds, they're not. They're consistently ordering out pizza. They go out and get ice cream. They have chips laying around, candy bars, whatever. Try as you might, eventually you have a bad day at work, something happens. Maybe you have an argument with your significant other. Any number of things can happen. We all have occurrences in our life. And then all of a sudden we go, you know what? Screw it. For dinner, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to have some pizza with my buddies, right? And then the next day it gets easier. Oh, I'm going to have pizza and I'm going to have some ice cream, right? Your environment hasn't changed. Your values and beliefs, your conditioning has not shifted. You're just trying to do it on pure willpower, and eventually willpower wanes out because everything else around you is against you, so to speak, in that you haven't set yourself up for success. Right? So you're headed down through those old thoughts, feelings, behaviors, results, outcomes, and you're headed down that lifestyle of, I'm just going to be 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 50 pounds overweight. Think about the money. The difference between the haves and the have-nots. The people that live on the hill, drive the nice car, right? Have possessions, go on vacations, the things that maybe you can't do. Well, is it because money's bad? Is it because the money's the root of all evil? Is it because only bad people have money and people who are ripping other people off have money? No, of course not. There are lots of great examples of super rich people who do nothing but take their money and put it and help others, right? Think of Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. They're giving millions and millions, billions of dollars to charity, right? They amassed a lot, now they're giving a lot back. So think about, what is the environment that you're in? What is the environments that you were brought up with that formed your relationship with money? Right? And what are the environments that these other folks have that built their environments, or that built their values, beliefs, conditioning about money? So what can you do? In our weight loss example, it might be pretty easy to all of a sudden go, okay, when I go to the grocery store, I'm only going to shop in the outside aisles. I'm going to stay out of the negative environment that's between the aisles, all that canned and box food. I'm going to shop on the outside aisles where there's the meat, the produce, the other things that I can get. Right? So that when I get home, I'm only going to have my house filled with healthy choices. I've impacted that environment. I took all the ice cream, cakes, and everything else, and I threw it away, or gave it away, or gave it to charity, whatever you want to do with it. So that if you do have that bad day, have something bad happen, you're not going to fall back to a bad habit, right? We're human beings are creatures that typically take the path of least resistance. It's a lot of work to get in your car, drive to a grocery store, buy a gallon of ice cream, come home, and then eat. That's a lot of time to think. We typically don't do those things, right? So when it comes to our food and losing that weight, we can dramatically change our environments. And then we can go about changing our conditioning by getting education, whether it's Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, getting a personal trainer, going to the gym, finding YouTube videos, reading books on healthy nutrition, finding a mentor, somebody that's already lost 50 pounds, whatever it is, there's lots of resources. And we start to change those inputs, that knowledge, right? And our conditioning changes. And then when we get around those things, we start to see how, oh, this is really the way I need to value food. This is true beliefs about food. You start to replace old beliefs, old values, and your old model with a new model. And that new model makes you think, feel, and behave differently about food and exercise. And differently, you get different results and outcomes and put you on a different path. You get a different destiny. Right? Same with money. Thinking about you don't have it, well, where do you go for people that do have it? Where can you go? Can you go to the home show and walk through homes? Can you just go walk through nice neighborhoods? Can you go down to car lots and look at nice cars? Can you look for a new job where you could make more money, build your resume? What books are you reading about wealth or improving your financial situation? What TV shows do you watch? Do you watch Shark Tank or do you watch, Honey Boo Boo? What are you watching? What are you immersing yourself in? What kind of music do you listen to? All of these things condition us, change our values and our beliefs. There's a myriad of things that we can do to change those environments. And once we change the environments, then this is a cascading effect to improvement. But if we simply focus below the line, the superficial things, and we don't work above the line on the deep-rooted things, our past, then it becomes almost impossible to change. Because so much is working against us and causing our destiny to be thrust upon us. Whereas if we go to work to change our environments, change our conditioning, change this deeper us, this deeper self, then we get a totally different outcome. All right? I look forward to hearing from you. If you've got comments about this, let me know if I can help. But until then, I'm Brett Lechtenberg. Feel free to like, share, whatever with others with this if you found it useful. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.